Who will drive the hypercar class in 2024? This category is becoming something incredible, and it seems everybody wants to get involved. However, not everyone can. So for this video, I will break down a list of the drivers I think will drive next season. First off, I want to show you the entries for next season, so you get a better idea of which teams are available. Just to be clear, this is not an official list of all the teams racing, just a general idea I have from all the data I have been collecting. It's also worth mentioning that these driver predictions will only be about the full-time WEC lineups. I won't be going into the driver lineups for the exclusive entries for the 24 Hours of Le Mans, such as the second Lamborghini SC63. For next season, we should see one Chip Ganassi Cadillac, two Porsche Penske's, two GR010s from Toyota Gazoo Racing, one Isotta Fraschini entry, two Jota Sport Porsches, two Alpines, two BMWs, two factory Ferraris, one Lamborghini from Iron Lynx, two Peugeots, one Proton Porsche, possibly a customer Ferrari from Richard Mille, and the Van Wall. However, those last two are unconfirmed, and it will probably be either or. But considering that one or the other could make it onto the grid for 2024, I will include a prediction for driver lineups. First up, the number 2 Cadillac. Let's talk about that V Series R. For 2024, I don't think Chip Ganassi Racing will be changing their lineup. According to CarRacingReporter.com, in an interview with Laura Wondrup-Clauser, GM's sports car racing manager, she hinted that Cadillac will likely not change their driver lineup and rather focus on their car for 2024. Having 2024 as a carryover year will allow us the opportunity to focus entirely on the car and understanding it better instead of having to balance car learning with new team and new series learning as we did in 2023. There was a rumor going around that Gustavo Menezes was going to drive the V Series R in 2024, but that doesn't look likely anymore. So for the lineup in the number 2 Cadillac, I think it will stay exactly the same with Alex Lynn, Earl Bamber, and Richard Westbrook behind the wheel of the V Series R. For Van Wall, if they continue into 2024, I believe that Esteban Guerrieri and Tristan Vautier will continue on with the team. At this moment, it's hard to pick who that third driver could be, but I could see Ryan Briscoe return to Van Wall. Briscoe brings a lot of experience to the Van Wall team, having raced in the ALMS Championship with Porsche Penske. He's a former IndyCar racer, and he participated in the WEC for 3 years with Glickenhaus. However, there's also the option that Van Wall goes for JP de Oliveira. I could definitely see that happening as well, considering that Oliveira raced for them at Monza and Fuji. I'm not going to say a lot about Porsche Penske Motorsport, considering that the German manufacturer has an incredibly strong lineup and probably won't change anything on either of their 963 prototypes. Porsche's lineup should stay exactly the same: Christensen, Cameron, and Makovicky in the 5 car, and Estra, Vantour, and Lara in the 6. Now, what about Toyota Gazoo Racing? Well, I believe there's going to be a change at the number 7 team. I think the number 8 will stay the same: Buemi, Hartley, and Hirakawa in 2024. But as for the 7, I believe Conway and Kobayashi will return, but joining them will be Nick de Vries. The current occupant of that seat, Jose Mario Lopez, is believed to be switching to the LMGT3 class and become one of the drivers for the ASP Lexus team. If Lopez switches to the GT3 class, de Vries is likely to be his replacement. De Vries already has a relationship with Toyota Gazoo Racing, as he was their test and reserve driver during their Hypercar program in 2021. The Dutch racer was actually expected to join Toyota's Hypercar lineup in 2023. However, when he joined Formula 1, things changed. But now that his Formula 1 career is seemingly over, the opportunity for him to join Toyota in Hypercar has risen once again. Now we come to the first of 4 new manufacturers on the grid. Let's talk about Isotta Fraschini's 2024 lineup. The 3 drivers that I think will pilot the Tipo 6 LMHC will be Marco Bononomi, Jean-Charles Vernet, and Gabriel Aubry. Bononomi and Vernet have been the main drivers to test Isotta Fraschini's hypercar. Both are Michelotto test drivers and have experience in endurance racing. Bononomi in particular has raced the famous Audi R18 during the 24 Hours of Le Mans, while Gabriel Aubry is one of the drivers that raced for Vector Sport in LMP2 last season. And of course, Vector Sport is running Isotta Fraschini's hypercar in 2024. Aubry is one of Vector Sport's best drivers, and I think he would do well in the Isotta Fraschini hypercar. So for a quick recap, I think Bononomi, Vernet, and Aubry will be in the 2024 Isotta Fraschini hypercar. Moving on to BMW, and as of right now, WRT have only confirmed Robin Freins to be one of the drivers. But there are a lot of rumors, and this is what I think their lineup will look like for 2024. In one of the M Hybrid V8s, I think it will be Dries Vanthoor, Raffaele Marciello, and Marco Wittmann. Then in the second entry, I think it will be René Rast, Robin Freins, and Sheldon van der Linde. This would be quite the lineup for both of the WRT BMWs, if of course this happens. You got the likes of Formula E and WEC racer Robin Freins, multiple DTM champion René Rast, the brother to Laurens Vanthoor, Dries Vanthoor, who's been extremely fast in GT3 racing. Then there's Raffaele Marciello, who's considered to be one of the best current GT drivers, and it's been reported by motorsport.com that both BMW and Lamborghini were fighting over who would get him for hypercar. My point is, if WRT BMW pick these 6 skilled racers for their hypercar campaign, they will have a very strong lineup for 2024. Moving on to Alpine, and this was another hard decision to make, considering that Alpine has a lot of drivers to pick from. But I believe for the number 36 entry, we will see Nicolas Lapierre, Charles Malesi, and Mathieu Vaxivière. These 3 racers will most definitely get a hypercar drive. But as for the second car, that's where things get a little bit tricky. So I think for the number 35 entry, it will be Andre Negrão, Mick Schumacher, and Aldi Caldwell. Mick Schumacher is of course the son of 7-time F1 champion Michael Schumacher, and Mick has experience himself with racing in F1. And according to a recent interview with Bruno Fama conducted by motorsport.com, he hinted at the fact that Schumacher and Alpine are talking about a hypercar drive. And Schumacher has already been testing the A424, so if you ask me, it's just a matter of time till Alpine confirms the signing. Negrão is already an Alpine driver, and previously raced in the hypercar class with the grandfathered LMP1 A480 Alpine. I think he would make a good driver for the 35 entry. And then finally, I've put Aldi Caldwell. He's kind of new to the World Endurance Championship, but he's a young British driver, has a lot of talent, and has been extremely quick in that LMP2 Alpine. It seems like whenever Alpine mention their potential lineup, Caldwell is always on that list. So I definitely think there is a chance that Caldwell could get a drive in hypercar. However, I do think that Tom Dillman is also on the radar as well. But I guess we won't know for sure until Alpine reveals their driver lineup. For Jota Sport, there will be a change in the number 38 car. Will Stevens and Yifi Yi will likely stay on for 2024, but the last remaining seat, I think, will go to Norman Nato, as Antonio Felix da Costa will not be racing Jota's hypercar in 2024. Even though the Portuguese driver wants to stay in hypercar, Porsche want to keep him in Formula E exclusively. So with da Costa out, I think Norman Nato would still be a good replacement for the Portuguese driver. The French racer currently competes with Andretti Autosport in Formula E. He was also given the opportunity to test Jota's 963 during the Bahrain rookie test, further implying Jota's commitment to get him on the grid for 2024. So after recent reports of Nato being the replacement for da Costa, and he was given an opportunity to drive the actual Porsche 963 from Hertz Team Jota during the Bahrain test, I'm pretty confident in saying that Jota are looking at Norman Nato to complete one of their lineups. But for the second Porsche, we might see one of the most incredible driver lineups in the history of the World Endurance Championship. The 3 drivers that are rumored to race that second car are Robert Kubica, Jenson Button, and Sebastian Vettel. That would be an extraordinary driver lineup. 3 former F1 drivers, one of them a Grand Prix winner and the other 2 world champions. Kubica is most likely to get a Jota seat, where Button could also get it as well. Vettel is more of the unknown at this point. It could go either way, but Jota's team principal did confirm a while back that they were talking with the German racer. Pietro Fittipaldi was another option for that second Porsche Hypercar from Jota Sport, but he has just been confirmed to race in IndyCar with Rahal Letterman-Lenigan, so he won't drive in Hypercar next season. We'll see how it goes, but if Jota ends up having this lineup for their second Porsche 963, it would be something that would be absolutely incredible. Moving on to our final chart of the predictions for the Hypercar lineup, and I'm going to make this statement quick. Ferrari of course won't be changing anything on their driver lineup for their 2024 season. I don't see any reason to change Ferrari's strong driver lineup on either the 50 or the 51. Let's talk about another Italian manufacturer, Lamborghini Iron Lynx. Who will their drivers be on their single SC63? Well, I think Lamborghini's lineup will consist of Andrea Caldarelli, Mirko Bortolotti, and Danny Kvyat. All 3 drivers have World Endurance Championship experience, and I'm pretty sure that Romain Grosjean will be a part of the IMSA lineup, as well as the other 2 unconfirmed drivers. So to me, it just makes perfect sense that Caldarelli, Bortolotti, and Kvyat will be on the WEC lineup for Lamborghini. Now for that possible Ferrari customer entry from Richard Mille, it's not officially confirmed to be happening, but I'm going to go ahead and say who I think will be piloting that Ferrari, if and when that will be happening. I think that third Ferrari could be piloted by Lili Wadu, Robert Schwartzman, and Alessio Rivera. Wadu and Schwartzman were both testing the Ferrari 499P in the Bahrain rookie test, and have been extremely impressive in their respective careers at racing. Rivera was initially one of the drivers to be rumored to get a seat in the factory 499Ps from AF Corsa, but of course it never happened. But considering that he's racing for Richard Mille in 2023, he would be an obvious candidate to get that third Ferrari Hypercar drive. So just a quick recap, in the not confirmed but potential customer Ferrari, I think it will be Lili Wadu, Robert Schwartzman, and Alessio Rivera. As for Peugeot Sport, their lineup remains pretty much unchanged. Stoffel Van Dorn, their reserve driver, is jumping into the 94 car to replace Gustavo Menezes, but besides that change, Peugeot keeps the same drivers for 2024. And it's a similar story in our final entry, Proton Competition's Porsche 963. I suspect that the number 99 entry will have the same driver lineup as they did in 2023, which is Harry Tincknell, Jimmy Bruni, and finally Neil Yanni. So that concludes my prediction on the drivers I think will race Hypercar next season in 2024. Which racers do you think will get a drive in the Hypercar category? As always, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in endurance racing and you're not subscribed yet, I highly suggest you do so. I make content on WEC and IMSA every single week. And speaking of content, here are some videos you can watch right now. So thanks for watching, I'll see you all in the next video.